Welcome, Street Rats, to Night City. I'm the one and only Moxie 11, bringing you slightly biased news footage from the fourth wall. When we left our motley group, I was making my way back to the apartment complex where Angus had just stopped Maelstrom from pursuing an injured Rico. I arrived just in time to see Maelstrom leave, and by the time I got to the alley, Angus was lowering his gun from Wraith, who had pushed up against a wall. There was a little bit of conversation, finding out that Rico had only hidden just behind the corner before we decided to move inside the apartment complex and talk in Angus's office. Wraith explained to us why Maelstrom was there and that he got zero information while he went out to talk to the Militech Guard, before I explained the information I obtained, which was actually helpful, with some clues as to what might be going on with the building, who the people out front were, and why they might be there. At this point, a bunch of tenants had come down to talk to Angus because our cell service was down. It understandably freaked out entire crew, as agents have always had service. Figuring that the corporation was coming for the building, we decided to prepare for invasion. First and foremost, we want to go see Rex, our fixer, for help. Wraith chose to warn the tenants that the corporation was coming and to arm themselves while he headed to the roof with tear gas grenades. Angus convinces the Andersons to help defend the building, and I go to pack up my belongings and store them in my car. When I arrived at the garage, the door had been broken. There's a spray-painted tag over the garage door, 2 fists side by side, with the word Anderson painted on the fingers in their gang colours. Inside the garage, my car is completely destroyed. The wheels had been removed, the engine pulled out, seats ripped apart, and the entire car painted in the gang's colours with their logo on it. Inside, there's a pack of gum and a toy car, both of which I take, popping the stick of gum in my mouth while contemplating revenge on the Andersons and the bill I'm going to give Angus for a new car. Yet at the moment, I have more pressing things to deal with and make my way to meet the rest of the group at the side of the building. Wraith included, as Rico had encouraged him to come with us instead of staying on the roof. So together, we head out to see Rex, letting Rico lead us through back alleys until Angus realizes something is wrong and stops the group. Rico is in dead-end alley, turns, apologizes to us, stating he didn't have a choice because they have Jenny. A twist betrayal we barely have time to digest as the vagrants on the street we had passed stand, revealing themselves to be soldiers, and this is an ambush laying in wait. Suddenly, Angus receives a call on his agent, suddenly having service, and happens to be an ex-co-worker by the name of Julian Adder, aka Streamline. He's currently working for WorldSat, most likely a NewsSat is a subsidiary of the company. We don't have actual proof of that. Streamline tells Angus to give up the building, take the money that's been left for him, and just walk away. Wanting to know if this is legit, Angus asks Wraith, and changes his mind and asks me to go get the briefcase. I look over the case, determine nothing seems off about it. However, when I lift it, the claymore hiding underneath goes off. I'm sent flying, the car in the alley is destroyed, Rico is injured, oh, and icing on the cake, I lose a hand. I guess I'll just add that to Angus's bill. A firefight then begins between those hired by WorldSat, Angus and Wraith, while I slip in and out of consciousness, bleeding out. Eventually, Angus tells Streamline he could have the building, just call his guys off and give him 2 days to get the building clear. Streamline cuts off his men, tells Angus that his family had told them no before hanging up. The battle ends with 2 dead on the opposing side, Rico being one of them, Wraith with a minor injury, and me laying in the alley, unconscious and still bleeding out. Once the men leave, Angus and Wraith finally decide to stabilise me, before leaving me to rummage the bodies and grab the weapons left behind. Angus searches Rico's body, finds a jammer on him, which is why our agents weren't working. And doesn't this whole situation confirm why people are completely untrustworthy? I think so. Once Angus decides it's time to leave, he carries me over his shoulder as I waver in and out of consciousness. Wraith following as we make our way back to Shady Acres, and find out our apartment complex has been reduced to nothing more than an empty hole. A hole with my bag that held almost everything I own inside it. Just more items to add to the bill, but not until I come back to my senses, seeing as I'm not really aware of what's going on. The episode ends with the group heading back towards Rex's place to try and regroup perhaps. There really is no plan as far as I can tell. All I know is once I come to consciousness, I have a few questions and a few choice words. To watch the story unfold live, tune in to Saves vs Death every Saturday at 8:30 PM Eastern at twitch.tv/Saves vs Death. If you can't watch live, you can catch it on YouTube or download it as a podcast by Monday. For now, this has been your Night City recap with Moxie 11.